Hey guys, started working out here and then realized maybe I should start a time lapse and kind of show you guys what I'm doing or the process. So first things first, I got the wheel off the rim on the 700, and I think I was wrong in the last video. Either it was an Instagram video or YouTube, but I said the bearings I was using were a 40 by 20 by 12. Well, that is the right bearing for the actual hub, so the cush drive hub and the spacer that I run. But on the actual wheel side, they are the bearings that I'm gonna run are 20 by 37 by 9. So they're a little bit, the OD is a little bit smaller and they're not as wide. So the plan is to stack two bearings on top of each other. So instead of machining this out to go with a larger OD bearing, we're gonna drill down and kind of machine this lip so that we can fit two bearings in there. And then on the other side, it has enough room. There's enough space there to fit two bearings. So just got to machine out one side. We're gonna go to my machinist shop on Friday. Hopefully I can film that stuff. And then the next thing I kind of started to get on here is doing the actual gas tank. I'm kind of laying out what I'm gonna do on the gas tank. I think the bottom is pretty much how it's gonna be. I'm gonna do a flat panel and then box that in, and I'll probably have just a drain line that goes to the back. And then on the top, I'm gonna cut all this out, the stock fuel hat mounting location, and I'm gonna kind of make a little bubble that comes out and then back down. So there's a decent amount of room between the tank and the plastic. So I think that'll work a little bit better. Just trying to squeeze like whatever volume I can out of that thing. But that's really just gonna be a nice piece to have done and actually holding fuel, because I'll retain the fill point of the actual stock gas tank, so that'll be nice. And then on the external tank, I went ahead and cut out 3 inches out of the bottom, just to kind of get it was looking like a little too awkward with how tall it was. So I think I'm gonna bring it down and then get the bottom to be kind of flush, or at least when you're looking at it from the side, you won't see the bottom of the fuel hat and everything. So cut 3 inches out of that. This is my extra piece. That's probably gonna be junk. And then I've got the actual tank sitting in some aircraft stripper. I'll let that sit for a while. So I think the next plan is to get I'm just gonna cut out the bottom of my gas tank that I'm gonna weld in. And then I've gotta get another hole saw. I'm really hard on hole saws if you can't tell. But get a hole saw, might have that, start welding on that this weekend. I might try to TIG weld. It is, strike to start. So it's not like a TIG weld with a pedal or a button. It's TIG welding with a torch where you gotta have a spark to start the arc. So that'll be interesting. And then the 500's doing great, just been riding it. So gonna continue to ride that and make some videos. And I'm gonna get cracking on some of this stuff. Hopefully this weekend we can get a little bit of this together, maybe the wheel on and set it back down and kind of test fit our tank. But yeah, that's how it's going, and I'm gonna time lapse this. It's just gonna be me grinding on this piece of metal for a while, but it's content. So really trying here, guys. All right, y'all take it easy. Hey guys, it's Saturday night, so I'm getting after it here. I don't know if I've done a time lapse. All I've been doing is welding and grinding, but I got a lot done today. So first things first is I got my fire extinguisher tank all welded up. I got my bottom made. That's looking good. I got my top half-inch hose line or barb fitting. Got that welded in, and then the actual elbow in, and then I welded in a bung for an 1/8 inch barb fitting for a kind of ventilation tube. So that turned out really nice. It welded good. I am MIG welding, but yeah, so it's not perfect, but it gets the job done. And then this is what I came up with on the gas tank. Again, this is MIG welded. It's not gonna look pretty. This sheet metal from the stock tank is really thin stuff, so start and stop little tacks the whole way through. But I'm gonna seal the inside of this anyways, so it'll hold fuel and not leak. So anyhow, I got my flat bottom and my little bubble made. I test fit this and everything. It works out. And then I just capped the front side and put a little barb fitting. I did my best to kind of make a like a little sump for it. So that line will potentially go down to the other line that I put in it, or I'll figure out a Y fitting or something. The other bung that's going in is a 1/2 inch. So I don't know if I can drill this and tap it for like this is 1/4 inch fuel hose, but this will probably get welded in on this side or this side, one of the two. So it's coming along. It's a lot of grinding and welding. My neighbors probably hate me, but just trying to get something done. So this should be done. My wheel is at the machine shop. He's gonna take a while he said it was gonna take a while to set up. So let him do that over the weekend, and then we should be good to go. I've just got to order myself some tank sealer, and then we can seal these up and paint them. But anyhow, guys, I'm gonna get back after it. Hey guys, just want to take a second to show you all how this main tank is fitting. So I'm not going to show you my welded bung because it's not pretty, but if I can get it to sit down in there. It's a little funky, but that's not welded or not bolted down or anything, but it's kind of how it's fitting. The other piece of plastic that goes there fits just fine. I've obviously got to move some of the wires and stuff to get it to sit down fully, but my outlet should come out here and then just wrap around, and it'll go past the shock into the external tank. I think this came out better than anticipated. I've just got to move some of the wires. Yeah, it's sitting up a little bit, but it's not pretty underneath. But once you get the plastic and the tank sealed and a little paint on it, it'll look prime time. And then I want to update you guys on the swing arm tank as well. So give me a second. Okay, and then this is the external tank sitting in there in the swing arm. And then hopefully, if it's possible, I'm gonna try to make it work. This should go in and hide this. It's probably not gonna sit down in there. There we go. So we're gonna try to make this black piece work so that if I do have to make that little scallop in the tank to fit the drop link, that it will, that the black kind of, I guess, chain guard and mud, what's left of the mud flap, will hide the scallop in the tank. But that's kind of how it's looking. Again, you can't really get an idea of how it's gonna look without the wheel on and everything. And it's kind of tilted that way. So once we get the wheel on and everything, we get it kind of figured out, I guess. And I did say that I was trying to make it kind of covered by the swing arm. I think that's just unrealistic. It's gonna have to stick out the bottom a little bit. It might come up a little bit, but this is kind of how it's looking. I think it, again, with it being propped up, you can't really tell how it's gonna look, but I think it looks a lot better than having the whole tank sitting back there. This looks a little bit less conspicuous or more conspicuous, especially with the nitrous sticker that I slap on it. I think it'll be more realistic than the big old tank. And then last thing to update y'all on is after the last burnout, I was pushing through the brake in the front, and I'm potentially not running a rear brake on this setup. So I went ahead and got a rotor for the front, some pads, stainless braided line, and then I've got a caliper coming for the front. And along with like how the chain was lining up on the swing arm, just from test fitting it with the 38 tooth sprocket in the back. And the 38 is the biggest sprocket I have. I think they might make a 40. But the chain was pretty close to the chain to the swing arm. It would have been rubbing again. So I went ahead and picked up a 17 tooth front sprocket. So that'll kind of balance out the bigger sprocket in the back, going with I think it's a plus 1 or 2 in the front. So, but yeah, guys, that's it's kind of the look. The gas tanks, I desperately want to test out how much fuel this will actually hold. I'd imagine this is probably close to 2 gallons. I'm really hoping. I definitely tries to squeeze out as much space or as much volume in the main fuel tank as possible. And then with that, really I didn't go that much bigger because I cut the tank down, but it's a larger diameter, so that might be I don't know, a pint or more of capacity than the other tank I was running. But yeah, everything's kind of working out. I am still waiting on the wheel to come back from the machine shop, but once we get that in, then I get this on the ground, then I can really figure out how I'm gonna mount, or where I'm gonna mount the tank, and then if I'm gonna do the scallop out of it or not for the drop link. I really don't want to, but if it has to be done, it has to be done. It is what it is. I'll lose some volume in the back tank, but at least I'll be able to hide it with the chain guard / mud guard, or what's left of the mud guard. But anyways, guys, yep, that's the update on the 700. Hope y'all are doing well, and take it easy.